This is the Rebel Call channel. Welcome to today's show. A lot of you asked me to cover K-pop, and I look at it as an opportunity to show a lot of the young people out there that listen to K-pop how it's no different than anything else we've all grown up with. It is filled with codes, signs, and symbols. In fact, all of the music videos are almost identically the same. We see the same signs and symbols as well as the same themes to these videos. And I happen to see trending on YouTube, and I had to cover it, was this K-pop band called ILLIT, not to be confused with Illuminati, ILLIT, and a song called Magnetic. And it's their first timers. They're brand new. It's their debut single, and of course it's being promoted. And it has, 40 million views in a few days because, again, this is how they indoctrinate their audience with witchcraft. These people don't have a clue what's going on. And it's fitting that it's called Magnetic, which is what really caught my interest. Because if you're not familiar with magnetism, well, let me make you familiar with it. Because you might actually be magnetic right now and not even know it. Now, the electromagnetism is really what we're talking about here. The internet is based on the functioning of electromagnetism. And of course, we know that there's a certain group of people that want to create this thing called the Internet of Bodies. You could even see on the World Economic Forum's website. They're not hiding it. Recent technological advancements have ushered in a new era of the Internet of Bodies with an unprecedented number of connected devices and sensors being affixed to or even implanted and ingested into the human body. So when you hear the Internet of Bodies, I hope you don't automatically think that they're talking about connecting your earpods to your other devices in your home. They're talking about connecting you, literally, to your devices. A Internet of Bodies is what it's about. So humans do give off radiation, and humans do mostly give off infrared radiation, which is a form of electromagnetic radiation. But it's a very low frequency, and they'd like to make that a very high frequency. And of course, if something gets inside of your body, I don't know how that could happen, or how it would happen without you knowing, wink, wink. Well, suddenly it'll be easier to connect people to the Internet of Bodies. Now, you might remember a lot of people were suddenly, a couple of years ago, randomly finding themselves being connected or finding people connecting to Bluetooth devices. If you don't remember, you could check out some of the videos on the website. So it's fitting it's called Magnetic, and it's fitting that these people, literally this band, ILLIT, is showing you their connection to the occult because they're newcomers. They're newcomers. So as they show you magnetism and they show all sorts of magnets, levitation, things floating in the air, nobody thinks anything of it. They just go, ooh, he's cute, right? So they start off, of course, because like most bands, they also have just an absolute obsession with eyeballs, one eye specifically, right? And they absolutely love to close their right eye. Obviously, what they're referencing is biblical because this is all biblical. And they're referencing Zechariah chapter 11, verse 17. Woe to the worthless shepherd who leaves the flock. A sword will be on his arm and on his right eye. His arm will be totally withered and his right eye will be blind. So that's what they're referencing here. She doesn't have an eye booger. There's not a moth or something flying into her eye because they show us throughout the video that this is all about leaving the flock and their affiliation with Lucifer. So we don't just see Peekaboo with one eye. We see every member of the band inside of a V pointing, or even a Masonic compass, pointing to their right eye. Look at them all pointing to their right eye. Something in your eye, ladies? I mean, boys, anything in there? Oh, okay, let's move on. Oh, wait, there's more eye pointing. Just lots of gestures to the eye, almost like every single music video we see. They just all failed optometry school. They all flunked out, but luckily they were able to bounce back on their feet and become multimillionaires by making music that sounds like something a 2-year-old could write and produce, because that's the majority of music. It is nothing more than spellcasting. So these are the newest recruits, so it's fitting, since they're brand new, that they're wearing blue and white checkerboard. Of course, this is a reference to the Blue Lodge, which is the first 3 degrees of Freemasonry. And for them, this would be the first 3 degrees of the Eastern Star. Of course, the Eastern Star is the female version of Freemasonry, where they take their oath, which goes like this. They say they'll never conceal, never reveal any of the arts, parts, or points of the hidden mysteries of ancient Freemasonry. And that goes through secret signs and passwords by those types of means, even though they show you and they reveal this stuff to us in every single video that they do. So as the video goes on, it's fitting that one of these ghouls gets a text message from, I guess, from Baphomet, right? Because they love that crescent moon as well. We always see these half crescent moons and these stars, but nobody ever pays attention to it. I remember a really famous pizza place in Washington, D.C. I think inside they played ping pong or something like that. Remember that? Yeah, they had that on their logo outside too, of course, because signs and symbols rule the world. So here's an incoming text message, I guess, from Baph, because all we're seeing is crescent moons and pentagrams. And then we see it again and again and again. We even see it on upside down Baphomet pentagram, right, on the palm of the hand. We see it on the roof as they just all, you know what it is? You know what? I'm wrong. They all love the Dallas Cowboys, right? They all love the Hollywood Walk of Fame and all those stars, and every business corporation that uses a star in their logo. Even though if one looks through a telescope, a star doesn't actually look like this, right? But if you draw lines through that five-pointed star, you suddenly realize you have a pentagram, and there is no difference between the two. It's the same thing. It's about the points in the star. So we have the pentagram, but everybody thinks it has nothing to do with witchcraft because they've been dumbed down to the point to think that these people are Dallas Cowboy fans, apparently. Then they throw up some devil horns over and over and over again, right? But, you know, that's just merely just another coincidence, right? The fact that they throw up devil horns. They must be doing sign language. They're telling their audience that they love them, right? And then this is another common theme that we see, keys, right? Referencing the keys of the bottomless pit. Because what they're showing you here, while they're talking about magnetism and pretty much opening up the spiritual realm and connecting human beings in the physical realm with the spiritual realm, you see the keys and then you see a heart with a unicorn, and it might as well be a Baphomet in there representing transformation. And again, the heart symbol I've covered many times. The word for heart in the Babylonian language was Baal. It was a symbol of Baal worship, right? And that's why you see all these celebrities holding up heart signs. It's not because they like to give out Valentine's Day cards on Valentine's Day and hold up heart symbols. Not because they love everybody. In fact, it's quite the opposite. They hate everybody, but we see this a lot with keys. We saw the same exact theme in Rihanna's Anti-Diary video, which is available on the website. And in that video, Rihanna opens up the door and goes to the other side, right? So after you see all this stuff with magnetism and all these odes to Freemasonry and Satanism and the occult, you see a door, and people just don't think anything of it. I don't know what they think. I guess it's because they're really just in a cruise control when they see these videos. They're not actually processing what they're seeing because they're spellcasting on them. But a door opens. Inside that door, it's completely black. And then you see them go up to the door and look through the door. And then they transform as they go through the door. You can even see the orb. We know that orbs, you know, in modern culture, we see orbs all the time. People believe that orbs are actually demons or spirits. So they're showing you the crossover to the spiritual realm. Now, when they're talking about magnetism, are people out there actually thinking that they're talking about the magnets on your refrigerator, or they think they're talking about something to do with love? I'm not quite sure what they actually think, but it's very worth noting that we also saw butterflies in the video as well, because these people who perform, you can see the butterflies up on the wall. The people who perform these, if you want to call them songs, these spells, let's just call them what they really are. They're all, they're all victims of trauma-based mind control. They're all programmed. And what they're programmed to do is influence you. And they're spell casting on you. And people just go into a trance when they see this type of stuff, and they fall in love with the characters. Like, I love the girls from Alit. They have no idea who they are. They have no idea why they're famous. They just think nothing more than, wow, they made a good song, and they're suddenly making millions of dollars, and anybody could do it. And if I just had the courage and I made a song, I could put it on YouTube and suddenly I'll trend and I'll make millions of dollars. I mean, huh? These are witches. They are witches in the occult. They reveal this stuff to us over and over through signs and symbols. So in the video, of course, we saw magnetism, their first big hit. It has nothing to do with humans, in the internet of bodies, and humans who are currently connecting to the internet not even realizing it, right? Nothing to do with Lucifer's plan here to manipulate what God created, which is human beings, manipulate our unique genetic codes and genetic structures into something that is no longer belonging to God, because once you manipulate your genetic code, you're no longer human. You're no longer human. In fact, you'll be a part of the internet of bodies when all this stuff goes down. if you don't pay attention to what's going on around you. So they show the all-seeing eye symbolism. Not once, not twice, 3 times, just pointing to their eyes. They're wearing the blue and white Masonic checkerboard, which again shows you that they're new initiates into the occult. They're young. They probably were members of Rainbow Girls and Job's Daughters first. That's how they groom them. And then they push them up through the Eastern Star, where they take their oath and their vow of secrecy and allegiance to Lucifer. They learn more as they go. Obviously, you can just look at all the other stuff in the video and it should just click with you. And you see pentagrams over and over and crescent moons for Baphomet and devil horns and doors and portals. You know, this stuff is not hidden. It is very clear to see. And every time one of these bands comes out, they show their allegiance because they all use the same signs and symbols over and over and over again. So I wanted to cover that quickly in a video so people out there could see it. Again, the band's name is Elit. Might as well be Illuminati. But, you know, they're just there randomly, right? And magnetism, they're talking about being magnetic. They're talking about, I want to be magnetic to somebody. I want to fall in love with somebody. And it'll be like a magnet pulling me to them. That's what these people believe. They truly believe it. Just like when these people reference their eye all the time, they think that they're trolling us. I mean, this stuff is right in front of us. It's so blatant and it's so over the top. And they know they can get away with it because they've programmed people out there to think that we're all crazy conspiracy nuts. And to think that everybody's in it. That's the hardest thing for people to wrap their head around. They're like, everybody's in on it? Well, if you understood how secret societies work and how they network, then you'd realize, oh, wow, everybody is really in on it. I thank you for being here. Hope you're all doing well. God bless you as always and your families.